Dear students, welcome for the next session. Scalable frequent item set mining method. In that one, the main thing is an important algorithm is an a priori algorithm. So that we'll see in this class. This a priori is a candidate generation and test approach. So here we will find out what are the a priori algorithm and we'll see how to improve the efficiency of a priori algorithm. And another famous algorithm is the FP growth. There is a frequent pattern growth approach and frequent pattern mining with vertical data format. These are all the things which is available. In that one, first one we'll see the a priori algorithm. The first one is a priori is the candidate generation and test approach. This is mainly used for the candidate generation and the test approach. You see a priori pruning principle, what it says is if there is any item set which is infrequent, it is superset should not be generated or tested. Suppose if any item set which is not in the frequent items, then it can be pruned out. So that what's an a priori algorithm says to you. So then we'll see what are the methods in that one is. First thing is initially scan the database once to get the frequent one item set. The first thing in this method is you have to scan the entire database to see what are the one frequent item set in that. Then generate the length k plus 1 candidate item set from the length k frequent item sets. So one scan is over. From that scan, you have to find out how many item sets can be combined together. It's an iterative process. Then test the candidate against the database. You check whether these sets are in the database and terminate when no frequent or candidate set can be generated. Once the database has been scanned the entire from top to bottom, if you feel there is no items in the item set in the database, then you have to terminate your scan. See, for example, they have taken the database. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 transaction has been happened 10, 20, 30 and 40. In this transaction 10, the items A, C, D has come together. In the transaction second, B, C and E has come together. And in the transaction 30, A, B, C, E has come together. And the transaction 40, B and E has come. So these are all the 4 transactions which has been occurred. This is the database they have given to you. And the minimum support count also will be given 2. Okay, now if you see here, in this transaction, we should have the minimum 2 times this particular item has to be existing. That's what they are giving a support count value as 2. If you see here, first take the value one by one. First we'll go for A. A is here and in transaction 2 it is not there, and in transaction 3 one time it has appeared, and in transaction 4 there is no value of A. So A has been occurred in transaction 10 and transaction 30. So it is occurred for 2 times. So we are taking A is equal to 2. That means support count is 2. So for us also they are telling minimum support count should be 2. So we are taking the value as 2. If you see the next transaction here, A is got over. The remaining thing is C and D. After that we are having B. So we'll go for alphabetical order. So it will be easy for us for tracking. So take the value as B. So B has happened in transaction 20 and B has happened in the transaction 30 and B has happened in the transaction 40. So 3 times it has been occurred. So the value B is equal to 3. Then another thing in alphabetical order C. C is happened in the transaction 10 and it has happened in the transaction 20 and it has happened in the transaction 30. So 1, 2, 3. 3 times it has been existed. So I can write 3 is equal. C is equal to 3. Now the next alphabet is D. If you see D has been occurred in the transaction 10. In 20 there is no D, in 30 there is no D, and in 40 there is no D. So D has been happened only once. Okay, then we'll go for E. E is it has happened in the transaction 20, it has happened in the transaction 30, and it has happened in the transaction 40. So 1, 2, 3. So 3 times it has been happened. So if you come across in this tabular column, A has been happened twice, B has happened thrice, and C has happened thrice, D has happened 1, and E has happened 3. Now you see, in the question they have given the item should have the minimum support count value as 2. So in this case, if you see the D is having the value as 1. So it is not matching with the support count what they have given. It is less than 2. They are asking minimum, it should have the value as 2. But we are having the value as 1. So this row should not be considered for the further analysis. It has to be eliminated. That's why they are given in the red color symbol, colors. So it has to be eliminated. So from this is our first scan. This is the database we have given. In this one we scanned and we have got this diagram. Okay, now it has to be removed. This is the C1 value. Count value. Now we are going for a L1 value here. So again we are finding the length of the items here. Okay, now while scanning you should see just you are writing, we are eliminating the value D and you are writing the exact item which is having the support count of 2, minimum 2. So in that case, if we eliminate D, you will be having A, B, C and E. So we are taking 2, 3, 3. If you see in this tabular column, your D values will not be there. Okay. Now, again, if you are coming for the next, from here, we have to see the combination of both these items. If you see, now single items we have found. Now we have to come for the combine of 2 item set. So how to make a 2 item set here? A is combined with B. So that's what we have written, A and B. Again, A is combined with C. So again, you are writing A and C. Then again, A is combined with E. So we are writing A and E. Now if you see, B is combined with C. So we are writing B and C. And B is combined with E. So we are writing B and E. And again C is combined with E. So we are writing C and E. So if you see, AB is also same and BA is also same only. So we are not taking any repetitions value. Just we are taking AB, AC, AE, BC, BE and CE. So this is our next item set which is having the together going items. Okay. Now with this combination you have to check in the database how many times A and B has been happened together. If you see here, A is there but B is not there. If you see here, B is there, A is not there. But you see here, A and B is coming together. So I am writing AB as 1. And here there is no AB, so the value will be 1. So if you see, the next one is AC. Now we will see how many times AC has happened here. Here one time it has come, here no A, here A and C has been happened together, so I am writing A and C. Students, you should also think it should not come, it's not a mandatory that it has to come nearby. It can be in any way of the combination, that is A and C. It's not a mandatory that A should always be next to C or something else. It can be in the list, that's fine. Okay, now you see AC has happened 1 time and AC has happened 2 times. So here AC is 2. So I'm writing AC as 2. If we come for next combination AE, to take here AE, see here AE happened only once. So I'm writing here AE is 1. And similarly, if you see BC, here 1, 2. So I'm taking the value as 2. If you take a BE, so here 1, here 2, here 3. So the BE value is 3. If you take a CE, the next combination is CE. CE is not here, CE is 1 and CE is twice. Now if you take CE is twice, okay. Now students, if you calculate the value here, see AB is having the value 1 because our support count should be having the value 2. So it is not equal to that one. So it has to be eliminated. So they are marked in the red color. So similarly AC is having the value 2. So it's fine. And E is having the value 1, which is not matching the support count, so it has to be eliminated. Similarly, BC, BE and CE all are matching in the count. So this will be taken for the further analysis. So after eliminating the criteria which is not meeting our support count, then we are coming for the new scan where you are taking AC is 2, BC is 2, BE is 3 and CE is 2. So this is our new item set. Okay. Now this is all following the support count. Now we have to find out in this one how many items can be combined together. That means AC has to be combined with BC. So like that we have to frame a 3 items. So A and C, it has to be combined with B. So if you see how many scans are there, so that combinations has not been existing. So similarly, AC with BE and AC with CE. So similarly, BC with BE. See, BCE. These 3 items has been combined together. So this will be our third scan. So this without the duplications, we are going for BCE. So in that BCE, you have to see how many times this BC is happened. So students, if you go for AC, it has to be combined with BC. So that will be ABC. So like that you have to make a 3 combinations. So AC with BE, like that you have to make a 3 combinations and find out there is existing only 1 combinations of different item set with B, C and E. So now you see how many BC is here. Here 1 item is there, here 2 item is there. So our third scan will be BCE is 2. So this is our third scan. Okay, like that it will be keep on generating the key value item sets which is having the minimum support count. This is an a priori algorithm how it is working. Now, if you see the pseudocode for this algorithm, just we have seen the example how it is working. Now we'll see the pseudocode for this algorithm. See, CK is a candidate item sets of size K and LK is the frequent item set of size K. This what we have seen, what is C and what is L. Okay, so C is nothing but candidate item set of size K and L is the frequent item set of size K. So now from the L1 we are finding the frequent item sets. You see here C1 is scanning and finding the support count minimum criteria and then we are moving for L1. From the L1 only we are finding the combinations. So see from L1 only we are framing the combinations. That's what they are telling. L1 is used for finding the frequent item sets. So okay, how long it has to be extended? That's what they are telling. For K is equal to 1 and LK is not equal to pi and K plus plus. That means from the set L till it is not reaching the null value, we have to take 1 by 1. See, from that how to generate the candidate key. C of K plus 1 is equal to candidates generated from LK because we are generating CK from LK. If you see here, you see from the LK only we are taking the CK. If you see the reverse the arrow of this one, the CK has been generated from LK. That's why it is given. From L we are calculating CK. CK plus 1 is the candidates generated from LK. For each transaction T in a database, do increment the count of all the candidates in CK plus 1 then that are contained in the T. See here, this is our transactions. Take the combination set and check with the transaction T whether that combinations are present or here. That's what for each transaction T in the database, do the incremental the count of all the candidates in CK plus 1 that are contained in T. Now LK plus 1 is the candidates in CK plus 1 with the minimum support count. So we can generate if the CK plus 1 in the LK is having a minimum support count, then that can be taken into account. Then we have to return the combination of the value. So this is an iterative process which will be going till all the items in the data set has been analyzed. So this is then implementation of a priori. This is the pseudo code, and we'll see what is then implementation of this a priori. That means here how to generate the candidate key. Step 1 is first self-joining the NK. And then step 2 is pruning. Pruning means which is not matching with our minimum support count, that has to be eliminated. And then how to generate the candidate generation, suppose in L3, ABC, ABD, ACD, ACE, BCD, this is the way how we have generated. After generating, you have to self-joining the links which is having the combinations. That is L3 is when 3 items has been combined with the 3 items. And from that we can go for 4 items. Like this it will be happened as a multiple way. And pruning is if any item it is not matching in that value, it has to be eliminated. So at find how many items will be combined together. So this is a simple SQL thing. Okay. The pseudocode and implementation of a priori algorithm has been given, and this is given in SQL implementation. So if you want, you can go through any Java or any other languages which you are familiar. Now we'll go for the next session and see the next implementations in the next class.